What's this?
A song of ice and fire.
Well, one thing is to deprive the fans of a happy ending. We get it, it's Game of Thrones. But another thing is to get the series to a point of nonsense. In this video, we'll dive into 5 moments that annoyed fans from all over the world in the series finale. Before we start, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell like hell. We count on you. Attention, there will be spoilers, so if you're ready, Dracarys!
The North will remain an independent kingdom, as it was for thousands of years.
Daenerys always wanted to sit on the Iron Throne, and since Season 1, she tried to achieve her goal. Sometimes it required a bit too much force and even a flame or two, but she was always clear about her purpose. On the other hand, the Starks, who are defined as being a loyal and honored house, kind of lose some of these traits, starting with Sansa. In previous episodes, she revealed the truth about Jon Snow's real parentage to Tyrion Lannister, who then revealed it to Varys, who told everyone about it. During the series finale last Sunday, it is revealed that Sansa becomes the Queen in the North as the Kingdom of Winterfell gets its independence from the other 6 kingdoms of Westeros.
My brother died for you. Hodor and Summer died for you. I almost died for you. Bran.
I'm not really. Not anymore.
Will you lead the 7 kingdoms to the best of your abilities?
Why do you think I came all this way?
Speaking of which, another Stark got the best out of this episode, and after doing next to nothing during this whole season, Bran, the Broken, got to be the ruler of the 6 kingdoms. So this whole thing about Bran saying he wasn't Bran anymore was all to distract us? A lie? Was this his plan all along? It seems so. He previously said that the Night King was after him only because he was the only living thing that had recollection of the past, present, and future, and killing him would be the only way to erase the memory of humanity and start a new one. So Bran was worried about the Night King killing him because he had to become the king of the 6 kingdoms? In episode 4, just a few weeks ago, during a conversation with Tyrion, Bran says,
I don't really want anymore.
Referring to him becoming Lord of Winterfell. Well, it seems he wanted more than that. Maybe he is like Doctor Strange, where he saw countless outcomes for who ended up on the Iron Throne, and only one would work. Him.
That will improve.
I'm sure it will.
After Tyrion and Arya finally convince Jon Snow, or Aegon Targaryen, that Dany isn't fit to rule after the slaughter of thousands of innocent lives, worsened by her kind of tyrannical speech, Jon decides it is time to kill the love of his life. So, in an anticlimactic moment, he stabs Dany in the chest, and with only one try, she falls dead in his arms. We could argue this could be a version of the Azor Ahai prophecy, where Jon Snow becomes the prince that was promised, and in order to save the kingdom, he must put a knife through the person he truly loves. The problem here isn't the fulfillment of the prophecy, but rather how it was done. First, we see Jon going to talk to Daenerys, who is about to touch the Iron Throne, and Drogon gets in his way. But since it was foreshadowed in the previous season that he could recognize Jon Snow as a Targaryen, it's all good. It has been said several times before that dragons are intelligent creatures. Well, in the writer's defense, it would be kind of a stretch for Drogon to find something suspicious. But then after Jon kills Dany, the dragon senses her mother isn't well and comes to her aid, but is too late. Here is where it gets tricky. We understand dragons don't care about thrones and successions. They are either wild or in sync with their riders. So when the creature sees Jon murdered his mother, the natural thing to do was burn him alive, even though he was a Targaryen. But no, instead Drogon turns to the Iron Throne and melts it down, almost as a political move. He then picks up Dany and flies away. Jon gets no consequences? Maybe the Unsullied or the Dothraki would come after him and chop his head off. Also no. Instead, they only imprison him and let the lords from different realms decide his fate, which gets us to the next topic.
So our new king has chosen to send you to the Night's Watch.
There's still Night's Watch.
The world will always need a home for bastards and broken men.
The king behind the wall. It's decided that Jon Snow should kind of be exiled and return once again to the Night's Watch and become the 1,000th Lord Commander. You would think, poor Jon. His honor and loyalty led him to the starting point. But no! Instead, we see him with a bunch of wildlings, Night's Watchmen, and even Ghost marching behind the wall, making him, that's right, king behind the wall. So, one more Stark king. Wait, if there are no White Walkers left in the world, what's the purpose of the Night's Watch? Maybe George R.R. Martin could explain it in the future books. The good part of him returning to the North is that he got to reunite with his good boy again. And last, but definitely not least, is Tyrion's turn. We all agree that Tyrion's character development throughout Season 7 and Season 8 had its complications. He sure made some wrong decisions that Tyrion from Season 1 wouldn't have made. But resigning as the Hand of Daenerys Targaryen wasn't one of them, apparently. Once again, he betrayed the queen. And if we can recall what Dany said in the last episode, if this was to happen, he would have been killed. Instead, she just gets him locked up. But for what? In the end, he successfully encourages Jon Snow to kill her anyway. After being locked up by the Unsullied, he manages to be set free and to have a saying in the choosing of a new leader for Westeros. And even more, he becomes the hand of the King Bran, the Broken.
Lord Tyrion, you will be my hand.
No, Your Grace, I don't want it.
Do you feel the same way after the last episode of Game of Thrones ever? What were your feelings? Share them with us in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. See ya!